Okay, so you don't want to leap more than a fifth anywhere. And if you leap up a fifth, you must resolve down by step. Okay? You must. Leap, must resolve by step. You can't leap and leap unless you're in an arpeggiation situation. Ba 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 ba. That's okay because it's all the same chord. But if you're doing something like a scale, you must finish the resolution at the end. And you're resolving it, but in the wrong octave, and it's this F sharp is fine because it's a passing tone between G and E. Okay, passing tones are fine. And then you go back up, but F sharp is a non-chord tone, and you cannot leap out of a non-chord tone. You must step out of a non-chord tone because it's an accidental. You can't leap out of an accidental.
Okay.
Unless you're in a 7 chord, in which you have unless you're in a 7th chord in a minor key where you have a leading tone, and then you can arpeggiate on the 7th chord.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to step out of an accidental. You can't, especially in Baroque style. If you're trying to do this in a Baroque style, if you're talking 20th century, you can do whatever you want. But if you're doing this in a Baroque style, you have to step out of accidentals. Any non-chord tones must be stepped out of. It can be a passing tone. It can be an escape tone. An escape tone, there's escape tone and there's appoggiatura. So one is a leap. You leap out of the note. So say you're in C major, okay? So C, E, G, right? Okay. C, if you want to jump to A, you can do that as long as you resolve to G. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, ba, 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 or whatever the notes would be. You have to, if you're gonna, that's called an escape tone. You're escaping up to it, right? You must resolve down by step. And appoggiatura is the opposite.
Turning? Or?
No. It's, you step into it and leap out of it, but then the note that you leap to still must go by step. You have to, there's lots of rules for Baroque theory. You could borrow my theory book if you want.
That would be very helpful.
It's at home. I can give it to you next time. But all your basic rules. I think if you just like rearrange some of it, it'll be fine. This is okay because it's a leap. But basically, you want to stay within, it's a leap of an octave. Octave leaps are okay because it's register displacement. So octave leaps are okay. 7ths and 6ths are bad. You don't leap 7ths and 6ths at all. Unless it's a 6th, like in the arpeggiation, like because you have an inverted chord. Okay? That sort of 6th is fine because it's an arpeggio. So there's lots of rules.
And this is an octave plus a minor third. Yay.
No.
That's totally 17th century, right?
No.
Okay.
The best way to figure it out is to work out your chord structure first. So, this is a 1. This measure is, well, it's really not because of the way you're going. But you have to resolve to a G.
Okay, so, come down. So, this would have to be like a load.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then you would have to, in order to get back up, you'd have to jump an octave. Also, you can only place accidentals, like passing tones and stuff, on the weak beat.
Okay.
So the and is fine, but like this is no. You cannot, unless you're doing like a 5 of 5 or something and you're using borrowed chords. So what's 5 in, what key are you even in?
It's C,
Okay.
just a lot of accidentals.
Okay. If you're in C, you may not start on G. You may not.
Okay.
Especially in the Baroque style. You must start in C. Because that's a G major chord. So either change your key signature or start on C.
Okay.
With the accidentals that you have, it might be easier to just change or key signature and just be in G major.
That might work.
Also, it's very, very, very atypical of Baroque music to have flats and sharp accidentals in the same piece. Unless you're doing a Neapolitan chord. And we really didn't use Neapolitan chords, which is a flat major 2. Flat major 2 chord is called a Neapolitan. We didn't really use those until the Romantic period anyway. So
Okay.
you're not
Well,
gonna
that
find,
makes sense.
You're not going to find flat major 2s in Baroque music. You're not.
Okay.
So don't use flats.
I can just make those sharp.
Make them in harmonic or something.
Okay.
But you have to find your chord structure, because that's the biggest problem right now, is that you're not in a chord structure.
Because I don't know anything about chords because they bore me.
Well, unfortunately for writing Baroque music, and as much as you like it, you have to know. So here we have D, F, A. That's fine. You're definitely in G major, by the way.
Okay.
You're definitely in G major. Just change your key signature.
Right.
Because DFA is the 5 of G major. D, F sharp, A. So make this an F sharp, okay? Change your key signature. If I knew how to do that for you really fast, I would. But I don't. So, D, F sharp, A. That's your 5 chord, okay? So, 1, G, B. You're going to put a low G here. I would change this to an arpeggiation of the G major instead of putting the E in there. I would drop the G down here, and then if you want to go back up there, you can jump your octave there. So I would do G, G to jump your octave, because you can't jump an octave on a non-chord tone. And then here you have your 5, D, F sharp, A, but you're ending your measure on a weak, you're ending your arpeggiation on a weak beat instead of on a strong beat. And it's only because you're using an inversion. So I would go A, B, D, C instead of A, B, C, D, because this is your chord tone and that's a non-chord tone, and you don't want a non-chord tone on a strong, on a beat. Here you have A, F sharp. You have another. So these two measures are 1, and these two measures are 5, and that's fine to start on an A here. But this leap is not allowed because it's a leap on a non-chord tone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you can do A to F sharp even though it's a 6 because it's part of the 5 chord. So you can go A F sharp, but not A B F sharp because you're leaping out of a non-chord tone. That's a passing tone, so this would have to be C. Or back to A. You could do A B A F sharp. It just has to do with the chords. So 1, 1, 5, 5. 5 pretty much has to go to 1. So move your G to the strong beat. Oh no, B's fine because B's a part of it would just be an inverted chord. G, but still you can't leap out of a C. Or what key are we in? Oh my god, you can't leap out of an A. Wrong clef. I don't think in treble clef when I'm here because I'm going to teach you.
Here, hold this.
I don't play violin.
Just hold it, it'll help. Treble.
So yeah, just go through and figure out your chords. In Baroque, 5 is going to resolve to 1. Okay? 5 has to resolve to 1 in Baroque music. In basic, your basic chord structure for Baroque music should be 1 4 5 1. Like, we're talking like 17th century pop music here, okay? 1 4 5 1. I mean, you can have 3s. You can modulate to 3. So modulate to B.
That's scary. There's too much.
It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of.
Yes.
I think it's part of the reason that we decided to come up with avant-garde music.